good.
Good morning and welcome to episode 1567 of Hard Factor. It is Tuesday, October 15th, 2024. Thank you for cheating on the news with us. 80-ish% accuracy guaranteed on this podcast. Patreon.com/Hard Factor. If you need more Hard Factor, up to 3 weekly bonus podcasts in there, plus the Discord chat access. Very fun. Today, Pat's got FEMA and weathermen under attack with death threats.
It's a bad time to be a FEMA worker or a weather person.
Yes.
Yeah, right after a bunch of hurricanes.
No, you don't want to be it. You don't want to be. It's like first it's like let's get the teachers out of here, then the weather people.
I mean, the second that the first hurricane hits, the rage meter just hits the roof for a lot of folks. And
yeah, people have always hated weather people.
Tough,
though.
tough profession. Yeah.
Well, they're always wrong, right? Like it's just
true.
Maybe that's just some sort of big cover up, Mark, because we know that they can control the weather.
Yeah, they can. The only weather people like are the cute girls because they're all gonna get it wrong. So like, just have a cute.
Yeah, take the edge off a little bit. Take the edge off a little bit. Just have.
There's one guy
soften
like
the edges of those incorrect reports.
There's one guy I like, and you know, I'm like not a great bettor. I'm decent. I do run our parlay pool, so I shouldn't say that out loud. I'm better than average, but I'm not awesome. But I will tell you what, one thing I knew and I bet on was that Austin, Texas local weatherman David Yeomans would go to the fucking top. I knew that from the first time I saw him. Look at this handsome son of a bitch. He is so good on camera.
He followed you, Pat. He went to Chicago.
He moved to the third biggest media market in the country.
He's currently the weatherman here in Chicago. You're getting basically unbroken yeomans, except for when you were in New Jersey. It's all yeomanless.
Yeomans will be on Good Morning America before we know it. I'm just saying.
Yeomans is going to be the national weather guy soon. Yeah,
I got
such a yeoman stan.
My wife loves yeomans. I'm glad he left.
Who doesn't? What lady doesn't love yeomans? David Yeomans.
I was like, okay, can you repeat what he said about the weather? Because I don't think you were even listening to it.
Well, in Austin, it was easy. To be fair, he's like, it's going to be hot.
Right.
It's gonna. Is it the 10 months? It's gonna be hot. Mark's got good news for bald guys. And are people eating cats?
Yes, is the answer.
Yeah,
to both good news and.
Well, I mean, worldwide, you got to think how many cats a day get eaten.
This guy's in Nebraska, and
right in Nebraska, only a couple, but worldwide, there's a few. I mean,
he does have a unique look.
Close your ears if you don't want to hear it, but
we'll get to him. He does have a unique look to him that looks like worldly and old. So like you'll see what I'm talking about. Maybe he's like got an old soul from ancient times. Yeah,
He's done a lot of mind expanding travel in places that eat cats.
Yep.
And I've got a hilarious hack to close it out. Really funny one. Most hacks pretty depressing, right? Because people are getting fucked over. This one, some people get fucked over, but in a pretty funny way.
Nice.
Yeah.
And it's a small pool of people. You'd have to own a specific device for this to affect you.
Interesting.
The Samsung
sounds like dildos.
No, but I mean, it's a home product similar to that.
You know what a lot of people say is the worst device ever released. So you think about all like the home product style devices, personal devices. I'm thinking phones, iPods, stuff like that.
The Peloton that killed all those kids.
Yeah, that's bad.
That's a bad one.
That's bad. That's a kind of a different class than what I'm talking about. But the Microsoft Zune. Do you guys remember the Microsoft Zune?
Oh, I remember. I had a Zune. Yeah, it was horrible.
A lot of people say that the Zune is the worst, absolutely worst device ever released.
You got a better name, first of all, right?
Zune. Yeah. Did you say Zoom or Dune?
Zoom is good. Zune is no.
Yeah, Coach Doug says Zune. Yeah, he was a Zune guy. I could tell you that.
Yeah,
a lot of people that became Samsung guys or Android guys were Zune guys.
Right. Well, because it's not Apple people.
Mm-hmm. Well, what is it, Pat?
The Microsoft Zune.
It now.
Okay, so
the Microsoft iPod.
Zune was it was straight up. It was the Microsoft iPad. It was a 30 gigabyte digital media player, and you could download songs. It was 2006 it launched. You had to like sign up for a subscription to get the songs. Maybe it was early streaming. Maybe it was like pre-Spotify. I don't know, but it sucked.
It was early streaming / Microsoft iPod, but it was horrible. It was horrible. I mean, by the time you enjoyed the Zune while you listened to music on it, and then you got frustrated with the Zune because it was so inferior to all the other music players. I think it went out of business, you know.
I Google imaged it, and this is like by far the best image that came up. So it's the product you're about to see, right? Of course, but it's to describe how it's not a very good product. It's just a giant shit emoji
right behind it.
Yeah.
That was the Zune. That's the Zune. I remember it.
They say the shit emoji, is inspired by the Zune.
Yeah, they came out. One is the chicken and the egg. It was the Zune.
It was definitely
first.
It was pre-shit emoji. The Zune was.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, let's talk weather real quick. Okay, so obviously we know there's been like a ton of terrible, devastating hurricanes that have taken place because we're in hurricane season, and it seems like the frequency and the intensity of storms is trending upwards, and that's not good, right? We know climate change might be a factor in that. And it's become political, though, in a weird way. It's like maybe it always has been. You know, you've always had folks who were benefiting from the fossil fuel lobbies denying climate change.
Well, you just look at Kanye's video, you know?
Yeah, Kanye's video. Yeah, he's sound. There was an article published.
He was on
study. There was a study, actually, published.
Mike Myers' reaction. Live.
George Bush. Bush hates black people.
Hates black people. Remember that? That was fucking
Mike Myers is so uncomfortable.
So back in 2019, the American Geophysical Union, they have a journal called EOS. They published an article titled "The Emotional Toll of Climate Change on Science Professionals." So at least 2019 is when people kind of started tracking that it's not just yelling at your weatherman because you think that he's full of shit and he's not actually doing anything, which is what I always thought. And he said it was going to be cold and it's hot, or vice versa. But generally, meteorologists are going through a lot of attacks due to denying of climate change, right? We saw over the maybe it was last week that meteorologist who started crying when he realized the intensity of the storm that Milton was going to be. Remember that? Here,
incredible hurricane. It has dropped. It has dropped 50 millibars.
Oh, geez.
No idea what
in
that
10 hours.
Millibars.
This guy loves weather.
I apologize. This
so
is
much.
just.
This guy, you know, this guy was assuming it was going to be as bad as Katrina.
You got to feel for him because he knows the
Luckily it
weather. There was this, you know, Helene preceded Milton. And he's like, oh my God. Like when it brings you to tears, that's not just the storm, guys. That's also the stressor of being a meteorologist during these days. And,
he's in the right line of work, but also the wrong line of work. You know what I mean?
He's thinking that storm's about to kill like 1,000 plus.
And that's that's a lot.
In his mind. That's why he's thinking that. But he jumped to conclusions. Luckily, his conclusion was incorrect. So.
Well, from what I read into it a little bit, so the science of it, what he was seeing would make you cry if you knew what the fuck he was seeing. And
right, those millibars were making him see the thousands.
You got it all wrong, Will. Those were tears of joy. He just loves weather.
He just loves hurricane tracking that much.
Right.
He couldn't believe how impressive it was.
Right. Or
it's
he
like the guys in Twister.
Yeah, or maybe he's an investor in BlackRock and the cobalt mine they're trying to buy in North Carolina. We're going to get to that in a second. That's a conspiracy theory.
Wrong town, wrong county, didn't flood.
But then later on in the week, Marjorie Taylor Greene, everyone's favorite Congresswoman, she dropped this tweet. And the tweet was, yes, they can control the weather. It's ridiculous for anyone to lie and say it can't be done. And there's lots of community notes there. Now, the Gateway Pundit later punished, it's like a right-wing publication, published an article, Marjorie Taylor Greene was right, they can control the weather, and then I read that article, and it went on to say, she wasn't specifically talking about hurricanes, okay? Scientists can do cloud seeding. Okay, Gateway Pundit, like, timing of the tweet, we know what she fucking meant. She was talking about hurricanes. And there's been lots of, like, amplified conspiracy theories about scientists controlling the weather. And on Saturday, FEMA workers got this message on their devices. Effective immediately, disaster-wide Cease inspections today and return to your hotels. There have been reports of militia units who are said they're out hunting FEMA personnel.
Ooh.
Okay.
Hunting.
That's tough.
Now, thank God that
We're
turned
gonna
out
get
to
them
be...
famous.
We're going to get those fucking famous.
Who you trying to help?
Don't stand a chance.
Yeah, they were actually told to not work
They're gonna
until
give me 5 checks. You understand?
Monday. So like Saturday to Monday, FEMA workers were told to just don't fucking work in North Carolina because there were so many threats, or so they perceived. Now, the threats of the militias hunting FEMAs turned out to be unfounded. Okay, thank God.
Yeah,
It was just a rumor being passed around.
that makes more sense. Why would people do that? Yeah.
Well,
We got to get creative. We can't find them. We got to cover yourself with debris and call for help.
Who started that rumor? That's incredible.
well, dude, there's so much misinformation about FEMA and weather right now that the North Carolina Emergency Management Agency they set up a website to dispel incorrect rumors, and it's called
like people hunting FEMAs.
Helene Fact versus Rumor. It's a whole website that's just telling people don't fuck with the FEMA workers. Now, on Saturday, however,
now can you trust because once they put up the this is true website, then the whole conspiracy, you can't trust that this is true website.
Exactly.
So, it's a rabbit hole. No matter which way you go, you're not going to get away from it. Somebody started a rumor that rocked the FEMAs.
Let me ask you this: if they were trying to sell it, wouldn't they set up this website that causes fact versus fiction, calls it out?
Exactly.
And
Now
as you'll find out in one of my stories, maybe just planting the seed could lead to this actually happening, or it's like a cried wolf scenario. We'll never know.
Right? Or do you mean seeding the cloud, Mark? Guys, on Saturday, however, the Rutherford County
Cloudception
Communications Center received a call on Saturday afternoon that a man armed with an assault rifle had made a comment about harming FEMA workers in the area. This is true. According to a statement released by the sheriff's office, the man was overheard voicing threats against FEMA workers at a gas station in Polk County. He said, "I'm heading over there to Rutherford County. Gonna kill me some FEMAs. Give me some FEMA scalps." And they called the police.
Wait, this is a real thing?
This is a real thing. And 44-year-old William Jacob Parsons, here he is. He was arrested and taken into custody and accused of threatening federal emergency workers.
So here you go. Yolanda K asks in the chat, why does everyone hate on FEMA so hard? Down at the storm level, sometimes people will get denied for checks for whatever reason, and that really sets them off. Okay, because FEMA is the ones who give out the checks, like literally on the ground to people who are like seeking assistance checks in the aftermath of a hurricane, and so some people will get a couple extra checks and they're like real happy. Some people might get denied. They might just be, maybe they tried the game, it got caught. But anyways, there's a lot of like negative interactions.
That's why people,
that whole thing right there,
used to hate FEMA normally.
Also now people hate Mayorkas, who's the fund, like the person who runs the FEMA budget, for coming out and saying they're broke right before hurricane season.
Right. Will and I talked about it a lot on the recent Patreon show. We were saying there's obviously, as a concept, they're great, they're helpful, but there's like a lot of red tape around it. It's like when they have to go out and rescue, they're like the Cajun Navy does a better job of just saying fuck it and they go out and rescue whoever they want. But sometimes there's like this bullshit bureaucratic red tape. They can't offer relief in certain areas at certain times, and like they have to check all the boxes and do all the paperwork before they go out and just actually save the people.
It's the difference between like your neighbor helping you and then like somebody who, like you say, comes in and has the government badge and everything, that you have to go through all the steps and
I think they touched on that in that Katrina documentary that came out too, like not documentary but like a TV show about Katrina, where people were like having to go through red tape to go rescue people with boats and stuff like that.
But
you can't go rescue them. They're like, fuck that. My family's out there.
So here's what's happening.
It's a weird situation, and these people are devastated, so they're like destitute a lot of times, and so people in that situation can tend to do crazier things than people not in that situation.
But obviously, they're helping.
Right now, it's right when conspiracy theories are amplifying untruths outside of the actual normal frustrations of FEMA.
Right.
Like for example, on the website. Fact: FEMA cannot seize your property or land. That's one of the rumors going around. FEMA is stealing donations.
What the hell they do in Hawaii, Pat?
Exactly. FEMA aren't helping people. FEMA has taken over the airport. FEMA have checkpoints. You know, it's a lot of like libertarian stuff, like this is the government. It's all bullshit. Look, but the point is, you know, it trickles down. This always happens. Someone says some bullshit online for political reasons, and then some guy like this guy ends up in a parking lot going to get some FEMA scalps, which is also kind of happening with the weather right now.
That sounds like a dude that got turned down for a check to me.
He could have. You never know.
That sounds like a guy that came hot from getting turned down for like his second check he tried to get.
Well, also it's just because FEMA's in town. This guy's mad at everyone. So like, you know, right now FEMA's in town.
Dude, I listened to this podcast about how hard of a time the FBI had trying to catch Eric Rudolph going to North Carolina, and they were like signs that were like, "Run, Rudolph, run!" Like, we're not helping you catch that mass murderer. He's one of our boys. They just don't like the government out there. That's the case.
Sure.
But taking it back to meteorologists, guys, they also have a proverbial red dot on their heads. Let's take it to the internet, where meteorologist Katie Nicolau clapped back at Dan Law. And this is absolutely dead on about the conspiracy theories about the government creating Hurricane Helene and Milton. Dan Law said, "Stop the breathing of those that made them and their affiliates." And look, I don't know if he's talking about the affiliate stations or their colleagues, but Katie clapped back and said, "Dan Law, you're not going to advocate for murder on my page, and humans, clap emoji, can't clap emoji, make clap emoji, hurricanes, clap emoji." That's the most important things, guys, because there were claims that Helene was a product of a man-made land grab to enable lithium mining in North Carolina. That's a big one. A lot of people are saying it was to disrupt the vote, and it was sent to Republican counties. And the cloud seeding does exist. It's sodium iodide. It happens usually in desert areas. Scientists have not perfected it, but they can't create a fucking hurricane.
Don't you think if they could control the weather or create hurricanes, they would have wiped Cuba out during that whole
dude,
Cuban
they was
Missile
weaponized it
Crisis
so
and
hard.
all like communism and
It's hard to angle it that direction.
okay, all right.
Yeah.
They've tried.
So I feel like they would have just smashed Cuba.
Anyway, that's what's going on. People are meteorologists are stressed the fuck out because right-wing conspiracy theorists are saying that they made the hurricane. And
well, that's not why the guy cried, right? I mean,
no. I was just saying that was just part of the general stress they have because of climate change, and I think that that's tied into people criticizing climate change, saying it's fake, and then saying that they're agents of the government or whatever, saying that climate change is real. But no, this is different. These death threats are new.
Well, look, Pat, I think that everyone can come together on this, on Lucy.
To chill out, right? Because instead of hunting the FEMAs, you know,
give
just
me some
pop
FEMA
in a
scalps
Lucy and take a little chill break.
That is if you like 100% pure nicotine, always tobacco free, which I sure as shit do. Lucy isn't like every other nicotine pouch company that's owned by Big Tobacco. They're like the mom and pop shop of pouches. And what's that? They go all the way up to 12 milligrams. Whoa.
Yeah. Pretty nice.
That's what these are. 12 milligrams.
Mango.
You're insane.
12 milligram mangoes, baby. You can get them subscription style. They'll send you 6 of these circular things filled with 12 milligrams. You can get 4, 6, 8, 12 milligrams.
Yeah, if you're normal.
Right. But they'll send you 6 of these things. You can get them once a month, twice a month, and they come right to your door. So you don't have to go to the gas station and spend more money than you would if you just got the subscription from Lucy Online. And they're better. These are better than other products. Sorry, they just are juicier, longer lasting. They're the best. We like mango. Pat likes the berry. They're all the flavors pretty good. The apple, even like the espresso one, cinnamon is not bad. I like all the flavors.
You can't go wrong.
Yeah, you can't really go wrong. You can get like breakers. They go up to 8, which is kind of like a little bit of extra juice in the middle if you want to like pop it. But they also have some gum and other products if you're not into the pouches. But they're the best. We've been rocking with them for a long time. We use them daily. This isn't smoke being blown up your ass. It's Lucy being put in your lip. And level up your nicotine, all right? With Lucy, go to lucy.co/hard factor and use promo code hard factor to get 20% off your first order. Lucy offers free shipping and has a 30-day refund policy if you change your mind. That's pretty nice of them. That's lucy.co and use code hard factor to get 20% off and always free shipping right to your house. And here comes the fine print. Lucy products are only for adults of legal age and every order is age verified. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. I have good news for bald men, right? And now, as an aging man whose hair is rapidly thinning myself and receding, there's not a lot to look forward to in life, right? Besides a trip to Turkey at some point.
Yeah, but apparently they're giving some very aggressive forehead lines in Turkey.
I want to go to Turkey real bad. Those bastards are for hair transplants as Venice and Murano is to glass blowing. You want some Venetian glass quality hair transplants, you
That's
get
the
your
place
ass
to
to
go.
Turkey.
You go to Turkey.
That's right. The confidence on a return flight to the U.S. from Turkey is higher than the plane. Flight attendants are getting hit on left and right, and everyone looks like Silvio from The Sopranos.
Right? Why someone got a hat on?
Right. But when they first put the plugs in, you don't look like Silvio, right?
Well, I think it takes a couple weeks, and I think what people end up doing is they just stay in Turkey.
They just stay in Turkey.
They do that like at all inclusives and stuff. So they're just like wearing hats at the pool, getting cocktails, just knowing their hair's about to look great. You know,
A lot of people. Yeah, it is like there's Turkish resorts, but I think the
Yes.
recovery time is only like about 2 or 3 days before
You come
have to
back a
go.
different man. Wow.
Yeah.
But Will, I think you might be right though. I because it's they take hair from a different part of your body, so it has to grow out. Like it's baby hairs, isn't it? I don't know.
Yeah, dude. Like, remember? I
I forget
forget.
some from the back. You know.
I'm not gonna say the coach's name, but one of our coaches, remember in high school, one of the football coaches, he had the most hilarious plugs, dude, like all over his whole head, and it was like the gaps between the plugs were so massive.
That was a different era. The technology's come a big.
He's got to go
long
to Turkey.
way.
Will.
yeah. Hopefully, he has since then.
Yeah. Well, look. Okay. So anyways, some guys just give up the hopeless fight against hair loss and go full bald.
It's better than what that football coach had.
They embrace it.
I think they take a strip of your hair from the back of your head, cut it out, right, and then they sew that together like a reverse facelift for the back of your head, and then they put that strip in the places where you're not growing.
Dude, I'll take pit hair. I don't really care. Just get it on my.
That's too strange. Now you need
Take it from my ass. I don't really care. Why does your hair smell? Why is it stinky? Anyways, so some guys go full bald, they embrace it, and then they coach like their kids' youth team too aggressively, or start a boot camp, or fix cars, whatever. I don't have.
Well, you got to grow the goatee at that point. You got it once the top's gone, you got to focus on the facial.
And
facial
CrossFit
features.
That's true.
Yeah. Right, and your body. Right,
Yeah.
get jacked and then goatee.
Yeah. I don't have the bald guy skills yet, or personality, so I'm just gonna ride it out for a while. But while bald guys might seem tough and invincible, they hurt too. They bleed too. Every nice hair, no hair comment. Hey, nice hair, no hair. Comments from strangers.
The one that gets them is cue ball. That's the one. That's the one that just hits to the core. And
it's not as creative, but that's the one they get the most from the non-creatives. Like, and those comments add up just like it did for one UK man and former electrician Tony Finn. Okay, poor Tony. As you can see, he's bald.
Oh yeah, Tony. Well, Tony's got a little bit of fuzz on there. He's got a little bit of like.
Yeah, well, that's because he's been tormented, so he's trying.
He's got the look of like, hey, I used to have hair, maybe not so long ago.
Tony used to not have skin cancers. Tony really needs to start using sunscreen.
He's in the sun.
Well, that's another problem with the baldness. You need a hat maybe because the sun's right there. So apparently he not only got harassed by strangers, but also by coworkers at the British Bung Company. What a horrible name.
Well, the bung hole. Yeah.
Okay, guys, good name. The British Bung Company, where he worked as an electrician for 24 years before he was fired in 2021. And he ended up taking a harassment case to a tribunal and referenced several incidents, including a main incident in 2019 where his supervisor called him a stupid bald, see you next Tuesday.
Wow.
Call him a stupid bald.
C word.
Yeah, but that's normal over
British.
there, right?
It's British.
Like, yeah, so like you gotta understand the C-bomb is way more common anywhere where they have the British accent, like including Australia, New Zealand. Does Canada use it a lot? I don't know. Probably not.
They're very nice.
They're way too polite for that. But
it's the UK.
Definitely the UK, definitely Australia, definitely New Zealand. Lots of see you next Tuesdays being tossed around.
Yes.
Like on the rugby field in New Zealand, like every other word is that.
Exactly. So it's not but he called him stupid bald before. He was getting that a lot at work. So guess what that employment tribunal that was consisted of exactly 3 bald judges did?
What did they do?
They sided with Tony.
Yes.
They've been waiting decades for a case like this, and in 2022 they got their wish. And after a long process, they ruled in November of last year that making fun of a man for being bald is not only harassment, but it's sexual harassment at the workplace, as offensive and harmful as remarking on a woman's breast size at work. And while I'm 100% positive we covered this story back in November, about a year ago.
We did.
Because how could we not? It's coming back.
Did.
Yes, we did. It's coming back around again because those 3 angry bald judges' official ruling was just published this week.
Okay. And now we know that they're bald judges. That's incredible.
Yes.
Wow.
One of the judges was named Judge Jonathan Brain, which is a tough name for a bald guy.
Oh, man.
Judge Richard Glanz. And those judges said things like this in the ruling. You may recall a few years ago, we had a case where a male employee greeted his female coworker at work with, "Hiya, big tits." And while her tits were enormous, we all asked her to appear before us multiple times and to put on different outfits and such for the sake of due diligence. Ultimately, we ruled that commenting on breast size is a form of sexual harassment against women. Well, we stand here before you today to say, is not calling a man a stupid, bald C-word or a hairless nuthead, a cue ball for the non-creatives? Is this not plucking away at a man's dignity and sexual harassment against a man, as the majority of publicly bald people are men, just like the majority of people with perfectly large breasts are women?
Okay. I mean, seems personal.
Yes. And they went on to say, so unless we all agree that we can talk about breast size again at work without anyone getting their panties in a knot, then bald jokes are off limit now too.
Legally.
Oh, man.
Shit. So you can't call somebody bald in the UK anymore.
No, unless you want to.
Well, not followed by a cunt.
Right.
No, for real, no, but the bald. The
a lot of
was
people,
not,
Pat, were commenting maybe that was the most.
No, the
egregious.
cunt was not even considered to be illegal in the UK.
Right.
It was strictly the bald.
Right.
But this tribunal was the company, right? Or
nope. It was just
okay.
3 bald judges that rule on employment tribunals. Like there's different tribunals, some for employment, some for like marriages or whatever. Like these were judges that were experts. They actually did rule on the women's breast size case, the Hiya big tits.
Wow.
Same guys. Happened to all be bald.
Wow.
So worked out for Tony.
Great live comment from Tiller here. Hashtag me to pay.
Yeah,
there you go.
Exactly.
Man, I watched College Game Day over the weekend, and they did like this feature story, those filler feature stories on a Georgia Bulldogs fan who painted his bald guy who painted the bulldog on his head. This guy right here who died. Okay, that's Trent Big Dog Woods, and Trent was the 3rd generation of Georgia fans who was painting the bulldog on their head.
Big dogs, yeah.
That's a great usage of a bald head.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Bald guys have an advantage in what they can do Halloween-wise. But his grandfather did it. His dad did it. He did it. He passed away this year at 46. And the story was about his shy brother. And when Trent Big Dog passed away, the shy brother was having a conversation with the mom. And the mom says, well, you know what you need to do. And he said, I know. And he became the bald guy that paints the bulldog on his head, even though it's not within his personality.
Hilarious, even though he's like a smaller dude.
But he had to carry it on. He had to carry it on.
It still looks cool. I like it.
You know what you need to do.
He does need to do it.
Another guy who had a great usage of the bald head and died too young in his 40s, I believe. Bam Bam Bigelow with the flame tattoos on his head.
I was going to mention Bam Bam Bigelow.
Bam Bigelow, when I would get dropped at Montessori school, was there every fucking day because his son, who was also shaved bald, was in my class.
That's weird. He shaved his son's head.
He wanted to be like his dad.
Yeah.
How young are we talking where he started shaving his head?
I was 4.
Okay. Yeah, I guess a normal haircut age. So, yeah.
Bam Bam Bigelow had one of the most intense intro songs in the WWF days. It was just a guy yelling, "Bam, bam," over and over again. And then you knew you were about to get your ass kicked.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah. All right, one more story I found interesting.
Great cameo in Major Pain as well, Bam Bam Bigelow.
Exactly. Great movie. Eldon Blake Lewis, a Nebraska man. I think I have his picture, that has modeled his look after Spanish conquistadors.
Yeah. He's got the pointy goatee. You know, with the top mustache is extra pointy to the sides, and then the bottom is like.
Isn't that facial thing called a conquistador? He's got the flat mustache that goes all the way out and points, and then like the pointy goatee.
He's got
the
he
long
got
hair.
enormous nose as well.
He's got Trevor Lawrence facial features too. Where he's
Right,
like,
but all he needs is like the helmet, like the old style silver helmet with the point at the top.
He could knock somebody out with that nose. I mean, that thing is massive. It's like half the size of his head.
His nose is so big it goes from ugly to hot again, like Adrian Brody. You know what I mean? Like he's got like some weird attractive thing.
Right.
He's so unique looking.
It is slanted to the side and enormous. Yeah, it's like a giant diagonal escalator on his face.
You know what they say about guys with big noses? They eat cats. Now, we don't know much about the man who we can assume has read Don Quixote a few hundred times, besides the fact that he was recently arrested for eating a pet cat. The non-Haitian son of a bitch actually did it. No word on if he got the idea from all the news stories and accusations of people eating cats. Like maybe it was like when you see a food commercial, you're like, oh, that looks really good. That looks good. Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna get that. Maybe like that was those news stories and the accusations like that for Lewis. Idea popped up in his head. I'm gonna eat cat. Sounds delicious.
Cloudception. Yeah,
might be a dash of insanity involved as well. But after receiving several tips that Blake done eat that dang cat, the Kimball Police Department, with the assistance of the Sydney Police Department, Nebraska State Patrol, and Kimball County Sheriff Office, all showed up with the warrant, searched Blake's home, determined he probably ate that damn cat, and arrested him.
Did they see the cat bones? What was?
Something tipped him off. I don't know if it was like leftover bones in a pot or.
Whoa!
Whose cat was it?
It was a pet cat. I don't know if it was his or could have been. Whose was it? Yeah, I don't know. But it wasn't. They didn't describe it as like a stray cat. So maybe there's not a lot of details yet because this is just insane.
Well, the investigation is ongoing. Yeah. Wow.
Well, here's maybe how they caught him. So when they asked where the cat was, Lewis began rubbing his belly.
Delicious.
They're like, all right, you're coming with us. He was promptly arrested and will face charges of animal cruelty and violating a protection order for quote butchering and eating a cat is what they determined, which is something the Kimball Police Department urged people not to do. They said, don't do that.
Yeah. That's
eat the cat.
Yeah. Is cat eating illegal in the United States?
You can't. Maybe if it's dead already, it might not be, but you can't butcher it because that's animal cruelty. You can't purposely kill the cat then cook it. If it has died without you killing it, I don't know. That's a good question.
In 2018, they made it illegal.
It's a form of burial almost, right?
But really, it's only illegal to like sell dog and cat meat.
That's what I'm saying. If it's your own supply,
it's a gray area.
Yeah.
It seems like. Okay. Wow. I can't wait for the details of that trial because cat eaters everywhere are on the edge of their seat.
There's going to be so many people dressed up like cats outside that trial.
Yeah. Also, cat lovers are going to protest it. So it's just going to be it's going to be fireworks at that trial. Yeah. The cat eaters silently waiting a decision. The cat lovers very angry.
Yep.
It'll be, yeah. Think the furries will show up to that?
Yes.
Yeah. I think
they're planning. Yes. Yeah.
So if there was a trial that was their Super Bowl
with "Do you want to eat me" signs, like the cat furries, like in the,
Yeah. All right. Let's move on to a funny hack. Also involves animals. None of them get eaten this time though. So I want you guys to meet. This is the product I was talking about. The D-Bot X2 Omni from Ecovacs.
That's a robot vacuum, William.
Correct.
Is that what it is? Okay.
Yep. You see the little bristles at the front? It's about to zoom around your house and pick up all the shit, and you don't have to hold the handle. Robot vacuum.
I thought it was a scale for very narrow-legged people.
No, it's getting ready to suck up some cords, and they go
beep, beep, beep.
Yep, and then you have to move it because it sucks at unsticking itself from things.
Every time it does that, I think to myself, whose house is fucking who has the perfect house where it doesn't fucking suck up a cord? Some asshole.
Somebody keeps it clean enough. You need like hardwood floors is way better for those. Like if you're like if you're carpeted up, if you got like some kind of bumpy ass floor, it's not good.
But yeah, you also
like, a
need
smooth.
like you kind of hinted at, you need like no pets, right? Like because they always fuck.
Well, but
with
no, it's
them.
great for pets because it sucks
Is
up
it?
the pet hair. Yeah,
Mhm. Or
Right,
cat litter.
but don't the pets always like get scared of it, jump on it, and like confuse
yeah,
it?
but that's fine. That's
Yeah.
fine. If it's running in normal mode, I mean, the pets are just going to avoid it. They'll walk away from it,
Yeah.
let the robot do its thing. It's done. And so, but this one particular, the Dbot X2 Omni from Ecovacs, it's a knockoff Roomba. Okay, but you go with the knockoff version of anything connected to the internet, and you risk getting hacked, obviously, right? So, Dbot X2 probably doesn't have quite as good, data security as iRobot. I don't know, but you'd think you go with the big boy, your stuff's more safe. And the Dbot X2 RoboVax users did find this out the hard way earlier this year. Ecovacs, they were hacked. Okay, people commandeered these tiny little in-house vacuum cleaners.
This is not the first time that robot
No.
vacuums have been hacked. They seem very hackable. Wasn't there
Yeah,
one where they were taking pictures of people on the toilet a lot?
Yeah, I think there was that, and then there was that may have been with Roomba actually, or like
so.
another knockoff Roomba. But yes, you're right. People were getting pictures taken of them in their house. There's been, I think, fridges that get hacked, like smart fridges.
Yeah,
and
so
stuff.
it's cheaper. It's called the
Sure.
Internet of Things. It's cheaper because computer companies make computers with cameras, microphones, and Wi-Fi. And then any company that's making a robot or a fridge, they just buy a computer, right? And it's cheaper for them to just buy a straight up computer that's already built and manufactured by the computer company versus being like, hey, can you make me one without Wi-Fi? Because why does a fridge need Wi-Fi? Or why does a fridge need a microphone?
How come this robot always vacuums the bathroom when I'm showering?
Yeah. Well, this one
You know what I mean?
took a little bit of a different approach. I'm about to tell you what this Dbot did. Ecovacs blames a quote unquote credential stuffing event for the Dbot X2 Omni robot vacuums that were commandeered by hackers to do two things. They chased people's pets around the house to terrify them. To your point, Mark.
Okay.
Normally they don't
Kinda
they
funny.
don't harass the pets like that,
Yeah.
but these dudes or guys or girls, whoever hacked the Dbot X2, they were chasing the pets around the house to terrify them. And then they would also, once the owners got home from work, scream racial slurs at the owners.
Oh, that's
So,
not funny.
I
They
found
got
the
voice
hackers.
command. Right. Eldon Blake Lewis. Yeah, he's torturing cats and screaming racial slurs. Yeah. But the users, they were terrified. Minnesota lawyer Daniel Swenson, he said he was watching TV with his family when a noise, quote, like a broken up radio signal or something, started coming from the robot's speaker. And he said after he reset his password and rebooted the Dbot X2, then the voice came through crystal clear, screaming racial slurs at his family.
Oh,
Yeah. And he guessed it was a teenager's voice yelling the slurs at them. But similar accounts came out of El Paso, Texas, and Los Angeles, California. And in those cases, they also chased the pets on top of screaming the slurs at them.
Is it 14-year-olds? Who was it?
sounds like it's teenagers. Yeah.
No, dude, Ecovacs is so fucking weak. They found the IP address and then I don't even think they fucking got the people. The hacker got their IP address blocked, which was probably like a mask or something, to resolve the hack, but not before exploiting a flaw that let them bypass the vacuum's PIN entry system to gain control of like access to the vacuums. Ecovacs claims that no data was stolen at all, and that everything's been fixed completely. But the hacker,
Right. No data was stolen. They just knew the age and race of everyone in the house.
yeah, no, they have the videos of you being terrified by their racial slurs and your pets being scared forever. And they'll be chuckling at that for a long time. I'm sure they couldn't get any data from when they got in there either. Right. No, it's probably not possible. Also, a 42-year-old Chinese woman at Airbnb in Vermont got arrested for trying to kayak 29 box turtles into Canada to eventually sell them in Hong Kong, which is, I thought, when I was like, that's expensive, right? You're going to get an Airbnb in Vermont. You're going to kayak 29 turtles across to Canada just to sell them in Hong Kong. But then find out American box turtles go for $1,000 each in Hong Kong.
What? That's fucking crazy. You can find a box turtle anywhere, dude.
We could be Hong Kong billionaires. If
You could just
round up
breed
enough
them.
box
I mean, like
turtles.
you just breed some turtles. That's
What
insane.
are they?
Yeah.
Are they eating their shells for virility?
No idea, but she was
know.
about to get $29K for kayaking a fucking bag of
going
box
on?
turtles over to Canada and then
It's
flying
got to
back
be a
to Hong
virility
Kong.
thing.
I'm telling you. No, it was in the AP. You got to take.
No,
it up
I'm
with
saying
the
it's
AP.
got to be a virility thing,
Oh, right. Yeah, the turtle shells or something.
like turtle soup
penises.
and turtle peanut. They're eating the turtle penises and the shells.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Turtle power.
Yeah.
That's what I would say.
I'm going
That's what I
to
would say
turtle mode. Going to turtle mode, baby.
All right, that's the show. Thanks for listening. If you need more Hard Factor, go to patreon.com/Hard Factor. Like I was saying at the top, up to 3 weekly bonus podcasts per week. That they're weekly, so yeah, per week. And then also Discord chat access, okay, which is where you can get in on the fun stuff we do, like playing the lotto, doing the weekly parlays, shooting the shit, chopping it up. Most importantly, get out there and have yourselves a great fucking day.